As WIS first told you in an investigation at 6 o'clock, the Richland County Sheriff's Department is in some trouble with the federal government. Court documents say Sheriff Leon Lott traded away 2 airplanes that weren't his to trade.
But the bigger trouble could have a bigger impact depending on what federal officials decide. Our Chad Mills continues his investigation tonight. Chad?
Judy, and right now the Richland County Sheriff's Department is suspended from that program that transfers excess military equipment to local and state law enforcement agencies. All of this stems from the trade of 2 military aircraft they got from the program. Of course, the Sheriff's Department is hoping that the suspension will soon be lifted and a thing of the past. But at last check, that has not happened.
The story begins with 2 planes like these, C-23 Sherpas, that Richland County got in 2013 through the federal program that transfers surplus military equipment to civilian law enforcement agencies. Court documents filed by the U.S. Attorney in Northern Illinois say Sheriff Leon Lott and the president of a private aviation company signed an exchange and use agreement to send the Sherpas to the private company in return for a Cessna Stationair for the Sheriff's Department, a trade that ultimately landed Richland County in hot water with the federal government about a year and a half later.
It's like if your daddy let you borrow his pickup truck and you took it down to Honest John's used car lot and traded it for a fancy convertible because that'd be more fun to drive. Daddy's not going to be very happy with that. And that is what the situation is right here.
Because in the U.S. Attorney's filing, he says Sheriff Lott never had the right to trade the planes away since, quote, the Department of Defense transfers only possession of the aircraft the DoD always had and continues to hold title to the aircraft, unquote.
I think it's something you want to settle rather quickly. One of the things that's happened to the Richland County Sheriff's Department is it's been disqualified from this federal program. So it can't get any surplus military equipment now.
As a federal lawsuit plays out in court about what the U.S. Attorney calls the improper trade of aircraft, Richland County is facing an arguably more serious repercussion. In late 2014, the federal agency that transfers surplus military gear to law enforcement agencies terminated Richland County from the program, meaning they'd have to give up everything they've ever gotten from the federal program. An inventory WIS discovered shows Richland County would lose about $2.5 million worth of gear, including 2 helicopters, 113 rifles, 8 trucks, the mine-resistant armor-protected vehicle the department calls Mojo, and the personnel carrier nicknamed the Peacemaker.
Which could make a huge difference in the budget of the Richland County Sheriff's Department if instead of getting free military surplus weapons and other items that they need from the federal government, they have to spend taxpayer dollars to buy those items.
In an email to WIS, a spokesperson for the program explains Richland County was ultimately moved from a termination status to suspension because, quote, the Richland County Sheriff's Department subsequently appealed that decision and requested to remain suspended, with their justification being that returning all law enforcement support office issued equipment would negatively impact their ability to conduct law enforcement operations, unquote.
I would expect that Sheriff Lott is very concerned about reestablishing a positive relationship with the federal government in this program.
When we last heard from federal officials at 5:30 this evening, Richland County was still suspended pending review. A program spokesperson says currently federal officials are reviewing whether the Sheriff's Department should be removed from suspension or be terminated from that program altogether. Sheriff Leon Lott says he couldn't do an interview at this point with us, but he did send us a statement. It says, quote, "It is not appropriate for me to publicly discuss this issue and that it is still in litigation, and we are waiting for a judge to sign off on the negotiated agreement, which we expect in the very near future. I can say, though, that at no time did the Richland County Sheriff's Department do anything illegal or improper. All equipment obtained by RCSD through the 1033 program remains in our possession and is used for the safety and security of Richland County citizens and our law enforcement partners. We remain a big supporter of the 1033 program and are very grateful for the equipment we have obtained over the years. We will continue to participate in the 1033 program for the benefit of our citizens and our deputies." And again, Sheriff Lott maintains that everything he did involved in that trade was proper.
So now there's negotiations between the department and this aviation company to which they traded the planes, trying to come up with a deal there. Nothing like that going on with the Pentagon, though, is there?
Well, and right now all of it is still in court. It's still pending litigation. As we understand it, a settlement is probably in the very near future, and we should know a lot more then.
All right, Chad Mills, thank you very much. We appreciate it.